Okay, this is a little more video on my saga of trying to straighten up the roof. I've got it pulled over pretty good. I'm going to have to go way past to get it to stay, but this is almost video of a rant of how these little Travcos were put together. I know there's a lot of loyalists, and I obviously touched on a nerve, I guess, in regards to these windshields not staying put. And after digging into it, I can see why. I'm going to walk around here. But I've got the roof pulled straight. I just welded some flat washers. Let me go ahead and get in. Show you how I did it. Just welded a little flat washers. Down to the body and different places, obviously. And I've got her pulled straight, and it didn't take hardly anything. I don't have that much. I bet I don't have 800 pounds, 700 pound of force combined on these straps. In my opinion, a damn flimsy frame. They just didn't make any real effort, I don't think. I'll show you one of the connections. Now this is the front beam. It's the last steel hoop that goes all the way across. It's the last one. There's really nothing metal above knee height. You know, a little piece of sheet metal going toward the front there, but that's it. There's no framework, no metal in this whole fiberglass front. And then this is all they did to attach that last beam to the truck. And you can see they just cut it off with a torch. It's 3/4 of an inch short. Now this cross member here is welded directly down to the truck frame. It's a piece of heavy sheet. It's been bent into a beam. They've got a piece of angle iron here. Now they did cut a little bit of the angle iron and stuff it up in there, and there's a little weld. They must have welded it before they set the body. And then they got this little bitty piece of 14 gauge, it looks like. It's not 1/8 inch. Half-ass welded in there. Now that's the only thing really keeping it moving from side to side, in my opinion. And both sides are just the same. You know, they could have notched that beam, continued it on down, welded it on all the way down. It wouldn't have took hardly any work to do that, and it would have been 10 times stronger. But no, they just whacked it off. A lot of spots I just repaired. Mine has a bench seat that turns into a bed. They just had 2 little spot welds, one on each side, held this beam, and then the bed hooks on this plate. And it had twisted this whole beam sideways and broke one of the spot welds, and I got it pushed up straight and put a piece of flat metal. Now there's a top on this particular channel. They beefed this up. There's a piece of sheet metal welded on top. The other ones are just open on the top. But I mean, if you look at that joint, that connection. Now I've tried to beat this straight a little bit, but it was just hanging down. It's just terrible. And then if you look, like where they put these beams down the body, I don't know if you can see that, but none of them line up. They're in and out, up and down. They don't, you know, there's no rhyme or reason. If you look down this, you know, they're up and down. Don't know if you can see as I walk down. I can see the one is going downhill and then back uphill there next to the little window. We can go on the other side here. you know, beams that you would think that you would try to line up, but they're not. They just threw them in there. And it's, you know, everywhere you look on this, it's just like they just closed their eyes, threw it in here, and wherever it landed, they tacked it. This joint here between these two beams, I was trying to find it. I cut it out. It was so bad. One side was so low compared to the other side. I just cut it out and put a piece of square tubing in there. It was, I couldn't straighten it up. So the build quality in my book is just terrible. It's no wonder the windshields float around in them. There's just no way around it. I'm thinking that, I know I didn't get to drive this one much, but you know, obviously when you get out of your driver's or passenger seat, you have to come around and step over the doghouse. And I was trying to figure out some kind of way. I'm gonna build kind of like a roll cage to come up and catch this roof. I'm gonna take this roof trim out. It's not gonna be fun, and spend some time. I've got the tubing and a tubing bender, but I'm also going to come down here because I don't think it'll be in the way, and I'm going to run right behind the center of the post that holds the seat. I'm going to run a diagonal brace up because you're not stepping out this way and try, you know, run an angle. I don't know how high I can get up without interfering with the seat, and bring it down on a diagonal and weld it to this and just trim around it. I'll make it out of something pretty. And but like I said, I've got the windshield opening pretty much straightened up. You know, I use my degree gauge. I have double checked the floor. There's a couple comments, but all these floor beams are welded directly to the truck frame. So they are what they are. There's not much you can do with them. And some of them are up and down. They're not on the money either. But, you know, there's all the rotted material underneath had been replaced. When I got this one, it essentially didn't have a floor in it. It was just, I don't know, mulch. There was a heavy layer of plastic. It looks a mess in here. And then plywood on top. And we hit a little spot of plywood in the back that was still intact, maybe a 3-foot circle right next to the generator. The rest of it, when we demoed everything out and pulled the carpet up, we just took a duster and a dustpan and just scraped it into a dustpan and threw it away. There wasn't any screws to back out or anything like that. And I've replaced a lot of the little cross members. Frame rails are, you know, good shape. So the floor is rock solid. It's not going anywhere. So anyway, that was kind of my humble opinion, is that they could have done a lot better. And I don't trust the front of this thing. I definitely wouldn't want to be in it if it rolled over. I think this whole thing would just fold up on you. So God forbid I ever wreck it after all the work I'm going to have in it. But, you know, things happen. So anyway, that's my rant, I guess, for today. And we'll just see what gives. I'm going to start taking it further apart. All right, thanks.